Hello friends, once again this is Bhavana Vibhuti. I welcomes you in my YouTube channel Enjoy Learning. Friends, do you like to read books? Some books are very favorite to us. Then how should we decide this is our favorite book or not? Sometimes you like the language used in that book. Sometimes you like the characters. Sometimes you like the theme. Sometimes you like presentation. There are some reasons to become any book favorite to us. When you were asked to talk about your favorite book or to introduce about it, which things you will take into consideration or which specialities you will tell about that book? First of all, the name of the book, then the type of the book, means is it a short story or is it a biography? Is it a thriller book or it is a historical book? Then you have to tell about the author or the writer of the book, his or her specialities, main characters in the book, background of that book. Then if there is any problem or dilemma, you have to tell it. Then any special message which that book conveys to us. Why I am giving you all this information today? Because we are going to study a book review in Unit 2.5. Book review of Swami and Friends by R.K.Narayan. Friends, what is the meaning of a book review? Book review is a study of that particular book and conclude its merits and demerits. In Marathi, we call it Pustak Samikshan. So, let's study about a book review today. And the name of the book is Swami and Friends by the author or the writer R.K.Narayan. So, let's study this book review paragraph by paragraph. First of all, let's say a little bit about the book. Anything I mention about the book can be mistakenly understood as spoilers. So, I'd rather give a glance into the book without mentioning any events or plots of the story. Here, in this first paragraph, the critic of the book. Critic means who gave this review of the book. We call Samikshak in Marathi. So, in this paragraph, he says, I don't want to spoil the book. Spoil means to damage by mentioning any plots or any events of the story, Swami and Friends. But I would just glance into it. Glance means to peep or to look into the book. Next, he says, Swami is a mischievous little kid of about 10 years old and living in the era where India was under the British rule. Like most kids of that age, Swami is a kid who cannot stay at one place and absolutely hates school. Even worse, mathematics. School is his absolute nightmare. Anyway, the story unfolds around the happenings of this kid and how he constantly gets into trouble and gets a good beating from his father. So, in the second paragraph, we come to know that Swami, he is a very mischievous type of boy of 10 years old, living in the pre-independence period. At that time, our India was still under the rule of British Empire. He cannot stay at one place, means he was a very restless child or restless kid and very much hates school. Nightmare means a very horror or bad dream. We call Duswapna in Marathi. So, school was like a nightmare for him. This story tells us very mischievous activities of this kid, Swami. And after that, he constantly gets in trouble and get a good beating from his father. Now, let's see what the third paragraph tells us. Swami is a talkative little kid and thinks that his way of facing life, talking himself out of everything, but he does learn the truth the harsh way. As many teens back then, all he wants to do is play under the sun, kick something, climb a tree, break something, and harass somebody. Unlike kids today, this, in fact, was, and in most parts of India still is, the life of a typical boy growing up. Technology isn't big in a kid's life. All they want is to play havoc. So, this third paragraph tells us that this Swami is a very talkative boy. He likes to talk continuously. Talkative in Marathi, badbade. And this is his own way to face life. And he talks about everything to himself. But he learns the facts of life in a very harsh or a little bit cruel way. Like any common teenager, he wants to play under the sun, to kick something, climb on the tree, breaking something, or to harass somebody. Nowadays, it has become rare in case of little kids. In a kid's life, technology isn't important. He just want to play, he just want to enjoy, he just want to play a havoc. It's a phrase, to play havoc, means in Marathi, danga masti kare. So, this is about the third paragraph. Let's go ahead. In what ways is Swami a typical boy in his growing years? In this regard, Narayan gets deeply into the workings of Swami's 10-year-old mind, explaining exquisitely how he thinks and what his perspective of the world is. The reader does feel like Swami and gets very attached with the character as the story progresses. That's the magic of Narayan. So friends, this paragraph tells us that how Swami was while growing as a typical boy. Here Narayan exactly describes the feelings, the emotions of a 10-year-old boy or a growing child and his perspective. Perspective means point of view towards the world. Readers feel Swami in themselves and get attached with that character as the story progresses. And that's the magic, that's the achievement of Mr. Narayan. Now, let's see some significance of the book. Swami and Friends by R.K.Narayan is not merely an interesting read that could be enjoyed from top to bottom, but the work attributes a lot of literary values, even if it is a teen book. Here, in the significance of the book, it is said that this book gives us full enjoyment. And though it is a book of teenager, it preserves a lot of literary values also. Now, next paragraph. Swami and Friends is a good read for the kids and teens alike. Also, the book is widely used in the Asian continent as a study text for the students who study literature as a subject at schools. This does not mean that the book is filled with heavy grammar and technical jargon. Actually, the truth is in contrary to this. Here, it is said that this book is a good read for all the people of all ages. It is used as a study text by the students who study literature in Asian continent. Though very heavy grammar or very technical jargons. Jargon means very professional or polished language, which is difficult to understand. Means in Marathi we can say Shabda Bambal Lekhan. It is not used here. It is totally opposite or contrary of that. So let's see what the next para informs us. Swami and Friends is written in such simple English. It is hard to imagine that it is a work of such a literary genius like R.K. Narayan. The English English used in the book is both plain simple, without any troubling words for the kids. Also, the use of simple and short sentences adds to the simplicity of the book. So, it is said that in this book, very simple language is used by the author or the writer. It is so simple that we can't believe that such a literary genius means wise person. Literary genius means in Marathi, Vidwan Sahityik. We can't believe that such a literary genius has used such a plain, simple language in his book, which can be easily understood by the kids. Very simple and short sentences adds simplicity to the book. Now, next paragraph. It is mentioned in the description that the book is about a mischievous 10-year-old Indian boy, and some parents may be concerned about the influence this will have on their already mischievous children. But the book is as such that it encompasses the mischief of the kids in a view of the kid which is harmless and pure in his perspective. Also, amidst all the mischief and naughtiness, we actually find that Swami is a loving and a tender kid who is actually very sensitive. It is also a known fact that mischievous kids are the most sensitive and loving people of all. And R.K.Narayan does a great job conveying that to all of us. Here, in this paragraph, it is said that as it is a story of a very mischievous kid or a very mischievous Indian child, some parents may change their view or angle towards their already mischievous children as it encompasses. What is the meaning of encompass? Means to focus or to include. Behind those mischiefs, the view of the kid is very harmless and pure. Though Swami is a very mischievous boy and very naughty kid, but he is very loving, tender and sensitive. Sensitive in Marathi, संवेदनशील or bhavana pradhan, and very loving people of all. And Mr. R.K. Narayan excellently conveyed all these things to the readers. Now, next paragraph. So, in conclusion, it can be said that this book is a good read for children of all ages who may just enjoy a good read or who may want to improve their English skills. So, what is the conclusion of the book review? That this book, Swami and Friends, is a good read for children of all ages and for them also who may want to improve their English skills. Now, let's read about the author. The author of Swami and Friends is India's one of the greatest authors of all time, R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan is responsible for many of the outstanding literary works India has ever produced, and this book in particular captures the essence of India under British ruling and the mind and life of a typical teenage kid. Other great works by Narayan include Malgudi Days, The Guide, The Painter of Science, more literary works such as the Ramayana, a shortened modern prose version of the Indian epic, and the Mahabharata, a shortened modern prose version of the Indian epic. Go take a look at them if you are interested. So here in the end, the information about the author or the writer has given. Mr. R.K. Narayan is the author or the writer of this book, Swami and Friends. And he is one of the greatest Indian authors of all time. He contributed a lot in outstanding literary works India has ever produced. This book, Swami and Friends, captures the essence. Essence means spirit of India's situation under the British rule and the mind and life of a typical teenage kid of that time. The other great works of Mr. R.K.Narayan are Malguni Days, The Guide, The Painter of Science, and many more literary works, such as a shortened modern prose versions of the Indian epic of Ramayana and Mahabharata. If you are interested, so friends, let's stop here. I hope you understood the book review of Swami and Friends by R.K. Narayan. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel. Enjoy learning.